Okay. So today we're going to be putting a shirt, pants, socks, and shoes onto Gene. I'm also going to see if I can kind of like work around with his sculpting a little bit to maybe try to improve him. We're also going to clean up our outliner and name all of our meshes. So a couple things where I kind of want to start is going to be, we're just going to make our shirt first. And so the shirt and the pants, I mean, you can make them the same exact way, but I'm going to go two different methods so you guys can see like two different approaches, okay? One of them is I'm going to make a duplicate of his body. And I'm just going to delete what's not a shirt. And that's your base mesh to work on his, or to basically create a shirt. Let's see. Okay, so that can be a little bit of a shirt. Now, let's say if I want to kind of scale it out a little bit because it does kind of like cut through his skin a bit. Let's do a modify center pivot. And then we can kind of scale out the shirt a little bit. We get a little bit more volume inside of it. Make sure it's not cutting through. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do a little extrusion. Kind of bring it down just a little bit more. I'm gonna throw in a couple extra edge loops just to kind of help with deformation when he's gonna be moving around. A lot of space up here, so adding an extra edge loop really kind of, the way it kind of comes forward like this, I don't really have that much more space on the front to add extra edge loops. So one thought is I would like to have some more faces, some more topology on the top of the shoulder blades, back of the neck area. So I can extrude that, kind of bring it in, and then pop it out a little bit. And that'll give me a face loop that goes around. So if he's moving around or stretching or whatever, I can add some extra edge loops in here if I need to. And that'll just go around like that. Or if I want to add one that goes over, that'll go cleanly around like that as well. So I still have that selection there if I need to. So I might add one right here, maybe one right there. Or if I know I kind of need to like divide everything a little bit evenly, I can also go and just do like a mesh smooth. And just kind of smooth out the shirt a little bit there too. So it's cutting through him a little bit, but if I smooth them out, you'll see it kind of goes back in. And I do want to kind of flatten the shirt edge right here, especially since it's drawn flat right here. And then for him, honestly, he doesn't really have any like discernible details on the shirt itself. So if I had like a collar or something, I could like extrude it from like this region. If I had like a pocket, I could extrude it out of the shirt from there. So there's, you know, options of what I might want to do. But I think something I do want to do is just kind of cutting through his neck a little bit right in here. I'm just going to kind of bring that out a hair and kind of bring that over. So we get a little bit of space right through here. All right, one other thing I would suggest is on the ends of like the shirt sleeve, the bottom of the shirt, and the collar, I would actually do a little extrusion on that edge. And I would push it in and extrude up just a bit. And the reason why is so if I smooth it, you'll see it looks like we got a little bit of a thickness to that shirt. So I got that thickness without actually extruding the entire shirt into having a distinct thickness to it. And so that looks a little bit better than having just like a paper thin cloth right here. So it feels a little more realistic. So again, bring that in. And then push it back up. And then smooth it. You'll see we got that kind of little crisp area right there. Bring it in. Bring it up. And then same thing here. And bring it out just like that. So it just kind of curls under. So that'll be one way of making a basic shirt. Daniel, are you bringing like an entire chicken sandwich and meal in here?
It's chicken nuggets.
Okay, but you're bringing like an entire meal in here? Yeah? Just checking. Okay, pull this away. Please don't fall. Pull that away a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the body right here. I'm actually gonna go ahead and smooth him. And then I'm going to use my quad draw to create the pants for him. So let's make it a live surface. So now I can't click on it, so it's just a live surface. Take the shirt, I'm going to hide it. And let's go ahead and grab our quad draw tool. I'm going to turn on my symmetry. Are we done? And I'm just basically just drawing topology on here for the pants. And then snap it in. and just kind of wrap it around. Now let's get rid of that. Let's bring I have a clean edge through here, so let's do 2, 3. Okay, we'll do it like that. Yeah, so we'll snap that over. And then I'll run another edge right here, so we can kind of smooth out, smooth using shift. Does anyone remember? Mm-hmm.
Oh, just that alone?
All right, let's move these over.
Is that tool?
Yes, yes it is. Okay. So now he's got some tighty-whities. All right, I'm gonna give him another extrusion or another edge loop right here. So he's got some tighty-whities. Add a little bit extra right through here. Smooth it out. Okay. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch back over to switch off a quad draw, and I'm just gonna grab the mesh, and I'm gonna essentially grab that edge loop, and since this is still a live object, this mesh I quad drawed is still active, it's still stuck on the live mesh object. So I can hit extrude, and if I extrude down, it'll stick to the mesh. It'll stick to the live object. Now, does Gene's pants, are they form-fitting? No, he has very wide legs on his pants. So I'm gonna use this to get the form. So they go about a little bit, probably right at his knees, maybe a little bit past his knees, somewhere right there. And I'll go ahead and turn off my live mesh. And that's the base mesh for the pants. But I need to go ahead and grab I need to make this fit him a little bit better. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of scale it out a bit and then make the pant legs pop out a little bit more too. So just gonna do mesh. Nope, modify center pivot. There we go. And I'm gonna go and scale. Not too much. And then right around here, I'm gonna start using soft select. And just start kind of pulling the pants out. So they are definitely supposed to be baggy. Okay, it's not reading as symmetrical. I'm going to turn off symmetry real quick. And I'm going to go over to mesh, mirror. It really wants to mirror that. Let's try that again. Mesh, mirror, object X, apply. Why do you want to put these together? That doesn't make any sense. All right, I need to make these definitely mirrorable so I can use soft select to help sculpt them. So let's delete half of this, the pants here. Let's do apply again. Oh man, I really want to do that. All right.
Could you bring the faces in a little bit? Because maybe they're coming into...
It shouldn't be doing that though. So I'm gonna go old school and just duplicate special, -1. Like that's what it should do. See? So let's just go ahead and put this back together. Combine. And then we'll take all the vertexes. And then I'm gonna go to edit mesh and merge. And then if I hit 3, it should all be seamed together. Now the whole point of this is so I can do symmetry. There we go, symmetry works again. Fudge nuggets. That's not supposed to be like that. Let me go back to, yeah, that merge was too close. Okay, so right here it kind of unified all 3 of these vertexes. That is not what I wanted. So I'm gonna hop back over to edit mesh, undid that, merge, bring that threshold down to 0. Looks like it's, yeah, so that's fine. All right. All right, and symmetry is functional again. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull some of these edges back around, redistribute them as I need to. Okay, I need to get the pants closer together. You can see how close they are on the artwork in here. So let's pull, let's do a little soft select. I'm gonna just pull this together. And we'll take this, kind of pull that together. That's pretty close. Okay, so then I need to go in and kind of redistribute again. Bring that over a little bit more. Bring this one down a little bit more, bring that over. And then on the back end, I feel like it cuts in a little bit too much. So I'm going to pull out the seat of the trousers or the shorts and pull them out like that. So Are we getting closer? Does that feel more baggy? Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm gonna throw in, let's do 2 edge loops around the legs. Kind of eyeball check and see if there's any like real bad flat areas that could be worked on. This right here kind of like clefts in a little bit. I'm gonna pull that down so there's a little more of a curve. Maybe pull that out a little bit more. I feel like I kind of need to pull the shirt, maybe this part out just a little bit more. It's got a little more of a paunch right here. And then the pants kind of just go straight down. They don't, there's a little bit of an angle in here, so I think I might bring this a little more forward too. There's a lot of space inside of those pant legs. Okay. Okay. And there we go. So that's going to be pants. So we got that. Then we got, let's see. Where did his shirt, where'd your shirt go, dude? Right here, shirt. No, that's not your shirt. Where'd I put your shirt? Okay. Group 1, probably group 2, no, group 3, group 4. There it is, there's a shirt. All right, and that, I think, highlights my next point. We need to name our stuff, because we got all this crap in here, we need to know what we're looking at. Shirt, Geo, not shit Geo, shirt, Geo. So for me, Geo is, you know, short for geometry. I'll go and grab his pants. Let's do shorts, Geo. I'll do his body. Body Geo. Hair Geo. And we'll do, I'll do eye group right. Eye group left, and then call this one eye left Geo, eye right Geo. And I'm gonna grab all of this. Let's do group it to itself, and then I'm gonna call this Gene Geo group. And then also I got his tongue and teeth in there somewhere. So is that all included? Yeah, okay, cool. So that's gonna be his top teeth Geo. Bottom teeth Geo. Tongue Geo. And then that group that it's in, I'm gonna go and call that Mouth Geo Group. Okay. And I'm gonna take this moment to go and start cleaning up my scene of just stuff that I don't really need. So I took out all that extra stuff. So right now, what you guys are gonna be turning in is gonna be an organized outliner. I want you to name all of your meshes. So sensible names like shirt geo, shorts geo, body geo, stuff like that, okay? Where is his... Where did his pants go? Okay. So this disappeared when I grabbed this other stuff. It's not a bad idea to go ahead and grab your mesh at some point. And I'm gonna go ahead and like delete history on it, just so it's, when I delete these other groups that are in here, there may be something connected to the geometry. So I'm gonna delete by type, non-deformer history. I'm also gonna go ahead and freeze transformations on my meshes to clean them out. So everything in your outliner shows up as frozen, so it's all zeroed out. And let's grab all of that. Let's see. There we go. So I can safely delete the other stuff. So now we just got this kid standing here with his clothes on. Okay. All right, any questions on the shirt and the shorts?
So, if the shirt is like a lot more baggy, like around the hands and has like a cuff or something.
Yep. You model that in.
Just like regular poly modeling for it. Okay.
I mean, this is my base mesh.
Yeah.
I can go anywhere with it. It's just a basic t-shirt. One advantage of doing these is I already have the base topology that was made with this character baked into this shirt. It's already there. So I know if the character can move right when I rig him and animate him, then the shirt should be mostly all right as well. So I don't have to worry about like good topology for the body, but terrible topology for the shirt and clothing. Kind of the same idea of doing it with quad draw for the pants is that I know I can do good topology with my quad draw tool. If I'm doing it with box modeling or something else, I may not be thinking of that when I'm doing it. Now, can you model this with a box and do fine? Absolutely. But these two methods here are also pretty viable as well. Honestly, the delete what's not a shirt and delete what's not a pants is probably the fastest way to at least get something to work with. Okay? Okay. Let's see. Shoes and socks. So let's go ahead and make some socks for the boy. So I'm going to delete what's not socks. So he wears his socks kind of up to about there. So we'll just delete everything that's not that. The socks themselves, let's see. I'm gonna go and delete the toes. We'll just put them over his feet. We'll center the pivot. And I'd like the socks to kind of like stick out a little bit from the feet, but if I scale, see how they're kind of coming off the feet? So one option is we could extrude to where we get them a little bit off the feet like that. I think that's a little thick. They feel a little bit like casts. So something like that. But I don't really need all of these faces on the inside, because now that extrusion has made the sock a double-walled object. And that's not really what I'm needing. I don't need all this extra stuff. You're never gonna see it. So I can just delete that. And then remember what I said about extruding in and then down to get that thickness? So I have it. I'm just gonna delete the next edge loop down. Then I can take out the interior of that sock. And then I can zero out the transformation and it goes right back on his feet. So now you got the semblance of like a top of a sock around his foot. You can even throw in a little edge loop up here so it tightens up that curve on the top. So this edge right here, let's go and extrude it. Hang on, something's not right. Okay. Okay, I think we're fine. I thought maybe there was like an extra extrusion in there, but I think it's all right. Okay, I'm gonna extrude out. I'm gonna close off the tip of the sock. Do a little fill hole command. Then you can quad it out however you want. Let's delete that one. Do another multi-cut. Nope. Come on. Multi-cut. There we go. Man, you know, for not having toes, I got a lot of vertexes on this thing. Here, maybe we should simplify this, because this is quite a bit of work. All right. Let's take that edge loop, that edge loop, that edge loop, that edge loop, and that edge loop. Delete them. Delete these, simplify it. I don't think we need quite this many. delete that one. Sleeve. Okay, that'll be a little bit simpler to work with. So I just don't need that many edges going on in my sock. And we had a bunch going around the edge right here, so we take maybe this one, this one, this one, and take that one out. Simplify that. So where can you go? Let's just send you maybe up to there. Okay. We'll throw a little multi-cut right here and here, just to kind of smooth that out. Soft select. We'll pull that out, pull that out. And I'm just gonna form this to fit the foot a little bit better. I'm gonna grab my smooth brush and bring that size down. And then pull this out. We'll pull this corner out, and that'll be a sock. And we'll smooth it. Okay, so we got the sock done, so we can work on his shoe. So I'm gonna grab a cube, shrink it down, hop into a side view. So this will be really similar to like building the foot, just no toes. So a lot easier, I guess, than building the foot. So I'll bring this in. And then I'm gonna bring this up here. That's gonna be kind of where the ankle goes into. This part will be down. This will be part of the heel. Unscrew it again, pull it out. And then his shoes are pretty rounded. I would assume they're probably like a elongated circle on the bottom. So we can put in a couple of edges just kind of around here so we can kind of look at it from the bottom view. And like bring in these sides. Okay, kind of like that. Something like that. Let's see, how we doing? So a little bit of a kind of a curve down here on the top, so I'm gonna pull up that to kind of mimic that curve. Going down, pull that back over. And we'll go and take that, put a drop-in edge right here in the center. And that's gonna go right in the front. Okay. Yeah, they're getting a little clown showy right here. They're getting a little too bumpy. Bring it down. Okay, I want to bring them closer to his ankle. Tip of the toe. Bring that back. Bring this back a little bit. And bring this back a little bit further. Something like that. Let's bring that over. Okay, see where we're kind of getting that shape now? So it is similar to the foot, just I feel like it's just a bit less complicated. Okay, all right, little hole for his feet to go into. I'm gonna kind of push that. Actually, we'll scale that in a little bit. And then we will push it down and flatten it. So I'm just gonna push it down to where it's like out of view. So I'm not really like seeing the interior anymore, or it's not like it's cutting through the leg. Move that back, give it a little bit of thickness. And then just kind of wrap that opening around the foot itself. And kind of just pushing it here on these vertexes. Just like that. And then we'll pull that one forward. And then right here at the bottom, I'm gonna go throw a edge loop down here at the bottom. So if I hit 3, you see it's gonna kind of hold the bottom of the sole in. And then I'm also gonna go ahead and grab the bottom faces. Actually, that doesn't have a cut through it. Okay, let me multi-cut that real quick. There we go. And then I'm gonna extrude them down into the thickness for the sole. Make sure I don't have anything else. Okay. And bring it down. Feels about right. And then I'm gonna extrude one more time. Just bring it down a little bit more. So I'm gonna hit 3. It's got a little something there. There is that dark line where the shoe leather and the sole start. So I'm kind of thinking that's probably like a little indentation or maybe like a little shadow line that I want to put. So I'm actually going to go in and just kind of really gently just kind of put that edge in there. And then I'm going to kind of just scale that in just a little bit right there. Bring it a little bit more on the edge. And that way then when it smooths, you see it's got like a little like tuck. Okay, so it's kind of denoting a change in material. Okay. So his toes kind of sticking out. Very gently, I'm gonna soft select that and bring that in. And then oh, actually, you know what? I don't think his toe, maybe let me smooth it, see if this toe actually pops out. A hair. Okay, we'll grab that, move that just inside the shoe. Okay, starting to feel like his shoe. This one right here. Let's bring that sock in. Okay. All right, so he has like a little tongue on the front top of that shoe, so I want to go ahead and model that in real quick. So that will be you know, let's do these 2 faces. I'm going to extrude. I'm going to bring them in a little bit. Kind of bring them up a little bit like that. Kind of flatten them. And then I want to go and take this vertex over, that one over. And then these 2. Bring that up. And put a little edge right here. And that way then I can have a slight bend. And I grab these 2 faces, kind of pull them forward, maybe tilt them out. So we got like a little slight angle to that tongue that's coming up. Something like that. Okay. So we got laces, Velcro. What do you guys think that is?
Velcro.
Think it's Velcro?
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the type to have those things.
That feels like an insult.
For some reason,
You don't seem like the type of person to need. You seem like the type of person that needs Velcro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like even though, like, with it being white on white,
Mm-hmm.
put it past him to like straight up just take his shoes and cut that out.
Cut the laces off.
No, cut that whole chunk of his shoe out. You're just seeing the sock.
So he's piggy. He's got pigs out.
No.
Pigs have escaped the barnyard.
They could be slides. Yeah. He'd be like, what? They're slides.
Those are not slides. Slides don't have a heel on them, right?
He'd cut them up and then he's walking around telling people these slides.
I could see him cutting his own shoes up, but what's presented is they feel like children's Velcro sneakers, like Skechers or something, or yeah. But I agree with you. I could see him being someone who would modify his own shoes and be very happy with his creativity. But as a parent, I would be very angry. Because do you know, I mean, you guys have any idea how much like children's shoes cost?
And they like grow out of it within months. It's like, why are we even
3 months, 6 months. Yeah. Yeah.
So parents like shoes.
Hmm?
That's why parents like shoes that were like Skechers. Because at the time they were cheaper, but now they're
They're not anymore.
not anymore.
My son's shoes were $55. Those are more expensive than the Skechers I used to buy. So, yeah, that doesn't work for me. That's more expensive than Skechers I used to buy as an adult, I guess I should say. All right, I'll start here with the first strap. So bring that out, put it right here. I'll bring this one out too. Bring that down. Actually, you know what? I think that's enough. I don't need to extrude any more of that. Okay, bring that down. And then I don't want this edge. I don't know, I feel like that edge it's kind of leaning a little bit, so I'm gonna kind of widen that. Then this edge right here, can widen that. Then I can throw a multi-cut right here. Grab that one, pull that up, multi-cut here and here. And I'll put a multi-cut right there. And we'll take about, kind of get that little curve on the end. Curve on the end. I'll take this edge, go to bevel, so it kind of rounds that off. And put a little multi-cut here at the bottom so it doesn't, when I smooth it, it doesn't kind of like marshmallow away and peel away from the surface. And then I'll put a little multi-cut right here, kind of halfway up. So I smooth it, and it feels a little more strap-like. So he's got 2 of these. I'll duplicate, move that down right there. And then the shoe, let's go and smooth that and see how this kind of fits. Bring that in, kind of shove that in. Bring that in, and then shove that down a little bit more. Okay. And then right here on the foot, I'm gonna bevel this little section right here. And then I'm gonna give it an extra segment. I'm gonna do the same thing I did. So I would assume it's probably like a material change from like fabric to leather for the toe.
Yes. It's like a plastic shiny top where you did like Converse.
Yeah, it could be, for sure. Okay, so that bevel could have caused a bullion, or not bullion, a ingon. So let's double check. Yep, right here. So I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to fix these. So let's do multi-cut, and we'll just do a try, because this is not really an area anyone's gonna really be looking that hard, so I'm gonna kind of just do a little try right there. Okay. And then I'm gonna go over to mesh, and we'll do a smooth. So we've got some extra faces. And then I'm gonna take both like this and the shoe, and I wanna go to, I'm gonna group it. We'll call this left shoe group. And then we'll go and take that, edit, duplicate special to flip it over to the other side. And I guess we didn't flip the sock over, so we'll do see if mesh mirror fixes it. There we go. I'm happy with that. All right, so our kid has some shoes, he has some socks, he has some pants, he has a shirt, he has a discerning face. It kind of looks a little bit like Gene, so I'll take that as a win. We could give him some eyebrows. Well, they don't really draw eyelashes on guys in that show, I don't think. I can't hear you. All right, so this will be a separate little piece. It's gonna go. Probably not, he does not need Eugene Levy eyebrows. But tiny little like pencil-led eyebrows I think this will be fine. So let's go ahead and pull that over. Yeah, it's got a little curve to it. Now, do I need 20 edges to this cylinder to accomplish this? Probably not. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete half of these. And then I'll go and take multi-cut, and I'll throw one right here. And I'll throw another one here and here. So just like that, and that'll be his eyebrow. Right here on the cap, it does, I mean, kind of like just cuts off. So I'm gonna go and take the bevel that edge, and kind of round that off. I'll do the same thing right here. And that'll work. Throw another multi-cut right here. And this will just give us some flexibility. So if you're animating it, you can have him flex his eyebrows and expression. And then I'm just going to use them to build that curve a little bit more. Okay. All right, group those eyebrows, or that one eyebrow, and we'll do a duplicate special. So now he's got 2 eyebrows. Eyebrow geo left. Eyebrow geo right. I'm gonna move both of these into the geo group. I can delete my extra groups I have in here. So now I have everything in here. I'm gonna grab my geometry. What the hell did I do with shoes? Oh, there's that group. I deleted those. Yeah, let's grab these 2. Move them into the, thank you, yes. All right. Do a little modify freeze transformations. And then delete history. So we clean it out. We're good to go. And we don't need image planes anymore because we've already modeled this thing. And then save it as Gene Belcher model. Finish. And there it is. Okay.